I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I am a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I am a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor.
There's a certain sense of, for lack of a better word, pride when it comes to voice acting. At least from what I've witnessed firsthand. The idea that we've been given the ability to alter our vocal cords and mannerisms to bring characters to life. Featured in all different kinds of media, be it movies, television, games, or even simply internet videos. And in turn, make laugh, make smile, entertain, inform, and inspire generations of people. Voice acting isn't just speaking into a microphone. It's a constant effort to connect, level with, and come to an understanding with the audience about who the characters are, as is live acting. And just like live acting, it's an art form that, like animation, hasn't been given nearly the respect it deserves. What up, what up, what up? My name is MC Cubed, and I'm a voice actor. Not only am I a voice actor, but I'm also a voice acting advocate. But what does that entail, exactly? Well, for a legitimate answer, we have to recount events that have led up to this point. In 2009, when I was 4, going on 5 years old, I was watching Dexter's Laboratory. As I was watching the show, it just clicked in my mind that I wanted to hear my voice in a cartoon. I had wanted to live act in Marvel movies and the Transformers movies, but the idea of acting in a cartoon is what stood out to me the most. I would often talk to myself, imagining what I would say and what it would be like if I ever got the chance to be in a cartoon or movie or another piece of media that I enjoyed. As I grew up, there were other pursuits that I had in life. I had wanted to rap. I grew up singing, but I wanted to do my own songs. Later down the line, I wanted to produce, and even further down the line, I decided I wanted to do art and animations. But voice acting was the very first and most important thing to me that I kept in my mind for so long. When I was younger, and even now, I would often find myself watching the end credits of movies. Of course, so many people with different jobs working on a movie intrigued me, but the cast often stood out to me. I'd be looking at movies and seeing the same voices and crew members across different projects, and it filled me with a sense of awe. Fast forward to 2020, I would say around the release of my first album and deciding I wanted to be an artist and animator, I had the idea that would eventually lead to the founding of CS Squared in early 2021. As I created, I found myself with more musicians, more artists, and of course, more voice actors. Before I even started CS Squared, I would look at the way voice actors as well as other people in the animation industry are treated and just be in complete disbelief at how badly they're treated, especially in the context of what happened between 2020 and 2021. When the entertainment industry was essentially put on hold because of COVID, animators kept on working. And what happened when things got back on track? Rather than paid, credited, or even thanked for their work, a lot of them were laid off, despite keeping the entertainment industry going while all the studios and theaters were closed. In 2024, just before Pixar dropped Inside Out 2, a bunch of employees were laid off in the name of saving money, favoring AI, which is a whole nother can of worms, and so on and so forth. Inside Out 2 would, at the time, become the highest grossing animated movie of all time, and is currently the 10th highest grossing movie of all time, meaning all those animation workers missed out on bonuses. So Hollywood is no stranger to treating people in animation like absolute garbage. As far as voice acting goes, at least in North America, most voice actors are essentially unknown by name in the mainstream media with the exception of Mel Blanc, the original primary voice actor for Looney Tunes, referred to as the man of 1,000 voices. Because he's put so much work into being considered the greatest and most influential voice actor of all time, it just goes to show how much work he had to put in to even get any recognition. In 1992, 3 years after Mel Blanc passed, Aladdin was released, in which the marketing heavily advertised Robin Williams as the genie, which was against his own wishes. The crazy thing is, Robin had respect for animation and originally refused the role of the genie, but eventually took it with a lower than normal salary on the condition of Disney not trying to profit off of him being attached to it. And they did it anyway, leading to the genie being voiced by Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer in The Simpsons, in The Return of Jafar. Robin returned as the genie in The King of Thieves after Walt Disney Studios chairman Joe Roth publicly apologized. Wouldn't you know it, the cover of King of Thieves has starring Robin Williams on it. In other words, Disney has no honor whatsoever. Speaking of, in 2019 when the live action remake was coming out, most of the marketing was on Will Smith's role as the genie, history literally repeating itself. Robin Williams' role as the genie would unfortunately affect Hollywood's already reluctance to treat voice actors with any respect by casting celebrities in voice roles, a practice we see to this day. The thing is, celebrities being cast as voice roles isn't inherently a problem, as some celebrities can actually voice act, like Mark Hamill, Jack Black, and Clancy Brown, and some celebrities are just known for having iconic voices like Keith David, Chris Rock, and Eddie Murphy. Brad Bird cast Samuel L. Jackson as Frozone for The Incredibles because he wanted him to have the coolest voice. Can't exactly argue with that.
Honey!
What?
Where's my super suit?
What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you!
The problem with celebrity voice acting is that the celebrities are not gotten because of their talent. They are for their status as A-listers, brushing off actual voice actors to the side. I've talked about this multiple times on the channel, but I'm going to use this example once again because it's a perfect descriptor of what's going on when it comes to how VAs are treated, and that is the live-action Sonic movies. On the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 poster, James Marsden and Jim Carrey are credited, but Ben Schwartz is not, even though he's the voice of Sonic. On the original posters for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, in which the logo and marketing primarily featured Tails, James Marsden's name was put first, Ben's name was put second, and Colleen's name wasn't there at all. After this poster received backlash, Tiga's name got added after Ben's, and Colleen's name got added before Idris's. But if you look at the bottom of the poster, Colleen's name is nowhere to be found, thus proving that Paramount had no intention of crediting Colleen in the first place. This is backed up by the fact that on the main Sonic the Hedgehog 3 posters, Colleen's name was missing again. Now, in the alternative poster that was primarily featured for New Zealand, her name was present at the top after Ben, even though Jim's name got put first this time because James and Tiga's characters don't have that much prominence in the movie as Eggman does. That said, Shamar Moore and Natasha Rothwell are credited as lead actors on the poster. And the thing is, if you've seen the movie, you know that their characters don't actually appear. What is essentially holograms of their characters do. And they don't even appear for longer than 10 minutes. These actors appear for a tiny fraction of the movie, not even really as themselves, and they still get credited, but not the person who plays the second most important character in this entire franchise, simply because she's a voice actor and not a live actor. This whole ordeal is irritating, and the live-action Sonic movies are just one of countless examples of voice actors being brushed off. I could go on talking about Zendaya replacing Sav Sircey as Lola Bunny in Space Jam 2, or Mark Hamill replacing Brian Doyle Murray as the Flying Dutchman in the SpongeBob movie 4, but if I listed every example, this video would likely be a year long, which leads us to today, and why I consider myself a voice acting advocate. As I stated earlier, one of the results of me finding CS2, amongst other prior internet connections and interactions, was and is finding myself surrounded by fellow creatives, including and especially voice actors. I look at how voice actors in the mainstream are treated, such as Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Tara Strong, and others, and then I look at my friends, Sarah, Miharu, Michael, Meggie, Trina, Hailey, and many others who have already done amazing work, and I just tell myself, there's no way I'm going to sit by and let them be overlooked. There's no way I'm going to try to go for what I'm going for without trying to shine a light on them every chance I get, without showing them the love and respect and honor that I know the mainstream industry won't. How I feel about CS2 is how I feel about voice acting. It was never about me. It was always about other people, bringing them up and inspiring generations of people. I want an entertainment revival, and that includes a newfound respect for voice actors and animation workers as a whole. I'm hoping to initiate a change so drastic that when all is said and done, voice actors not being properly credited will be a thing of the past, and people will look back and wonder why that was even a thing in the first place. Voice acting is an art form, one that I've held dear to my heart since I was 4 years old, and I think the people who participate in this art form should be beloved and respected by all those who indulge in entertainment, which applies to billions of people, past, present, and future. Thank you for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. It took quite a while to put together and I'm working with limited resources. If you would like to support this channel, you can click the join button or the membership link in the description below. I recently put an album out entitled 2 Cubed. Link to that will also be in the description below, or simply check the YouTube channel. In addition, if you would like to see more of my creative work with others, check out the CS2 channel. It'll be on the end screen as well as in the description. Alongside that will be a link to the CS2 Ko-fi. Lastly, a huge thank you to the voice actors who contributed to the beginning of the video. Ryan Boyd, Hailey Pattarozzi, Ethan Lopez, MariusWales, Miharu The Fox, Admiral Trina, Michael Gonzalez, Vanilla Bean, Josh Portillo, Sav Sircey, SarahSenshii, ThatBunnyDude, and Amelia Costanza. All of them are extremely great. Links to all their socials will be in the description. Once again, thanks for watching. I love you all. Hug somebody today. See ya, cubed.